So Shane Bruce here, and if you've been following my Campbell County political podcast, now normally if I'm well traveled, I've been places, I've been around the world, and I would like to think in a place that was functional, I would be telling people about job opportunities, how to contract for jobs, be selling you our service to make you an LLC contractor capable of taking government grants federally, locally, state, or anything else. But as you can see in the Campbell County political podcast playlist, it is shockingly, deplorably, disgustingly incompetent government. Now, you've seen the ME's recordings on the audio, on the my report to the county commissioners, where he admits that he's never investigated a death in 25 years. He wonders why people ask him. He gets huffy about it that they do, and then starts feeding them a line of complete and utter bullshit. He doesn't follow any regulations or anything else. He doesn't do his job. He hasn't for 25 years. And the thing is, I took that to the committees and board members and mayor, and they all know he's not doing his job, but the thing that they say is he's cheap. That's it. He's cheap. Now, I had been gone to the committee before to see why I couldn't find any court records. These court records were the girls at the desk, the ones that takes the fees and fines and everybody's money and puts them on the credit card. They said the records were in a condemned building and that Campbell County wasn't allowed to go into that building. And I just found that to be completely unbelievable. So I spent like 2 months trying to find these court records, asking about them, going to the county commissioners meeting, and they didn't know. And the mayor was actually the one saying the archives were used to be in the building, but what Campbell County calls the archives, now they're fine. Campbell County flies some false flags, people. That's not what you call it government. Government just don't fly false flags. He's Mayor E.L. Morton he was the janitor, the custodian, whatever you want to call it, of some police investigative thing where they kept their files. And they call the active files investigations, but as soon as they put them out the door, I have found that through various means, that they just take the files, put them in a metal outbuilding behind the courthouse, jail, whatever you want to call it. It's a facade, what it is. It's not actual government, people. This is just a facade. It's a farce. Now, why wouldn't they keep court records? Who knows? Destruction of a court record is called spoliation. It's actually a Class A felony, I think. It's a felony at least. And they've got thousands of counts because they take these records, and where you expect their best and brightest in the government to be court clerks, digitizing and organizing, be able to find these records, the archive of library sciences degrees. No, that's what the mental mind of paper, that sacred thing of their memory of other courts and counties or states would have, or governments. No, in Campbell County, they just take them out. Bobby Van, the current court clerk, turns them over to the records to the litter control officer. Actually, I think he hands it directly to inmates. They come on, pick up the files, take them in the middle building. And that's what that, in Campbell County, what they're being handled by is inmates. All right? The wind blew and mine almost escaped. My little dog belly here. Hi, Bella. No, not letting you outside right now. So, anyways, that's probably thousands of counts of felonies against the court clerk and probably whoever else is involved if they wanted to extend that, if anybody was in this area was doing their job. But you're looking at failure of democracy. You're looking at people who are so substandard that they are somehow elected from menial positions. Not that there's anything wrong with a menial position, but you're probably not going to, and there might be qualified people with, 10 years of college among some menial position if something has happened, or they just get tired or something else and want to break from thinking. That's what it is. They're serfs type mentalities. And that's just what it is. I mean, if somebody wants to go out there and mop floors or scrub toilets and not have to think about anything, it's probably very relaxing to the soul, but it does not a politician make, okay, people? And 95% of the county, you can look this up in the records. I might even attach a document to this video. I have to reload it, I will. But you can look it up. 95% do not have a college education. I went to Campbell County High School. It's not that I'm not from here, right? In '84, I went through the whole high school thing. Zero education. That took me 7.5 years of undergraduate work to make up for the education missing from Campbell County. And next he came up and says, well, not all of us are bad. I was a good teacher. She was a teacher that was absent 3 days a week to go deal with whatever drama was in her head. And the other 2 days would come back to the class and just complain about the drama. No teaching was done. I mean, the Prater wasn't bad, but poor Prater's, I think, related to the Campbell County assassins that moved against the human rights movement or labor union movements. I mean, it's despicable. They have no back. It's Squidbilly Bill. It really is. And I'm telling you this to Campbell Countyans, not to elect your fellow Squidbillies to office. As we've seen, the open arms people, clueless, years of bread lines begging, and the government's the same type thing. They work their way up the trough, okay? It's a foul trough. We got janitors as mayors and committee members. And the thing is, I'm not trying to down the serfs or the serf mentality, but they're going to follow somebody else, okay? They haven't spent years defending theses or teaching students or involving in debates or government contracting. They have no clue. They probably can't read above a 5th grade level. So they're going to be simply sport. I mean, you see people like Scott's Kits, who tries to talk and shut down and sits there embarrassingly starting to get a little bit of shine on him, But honestly, I mean, not personally, but shining shit, people. That's what we got in politicians up there greasing themselves. The current mayor, Jack Lynch, refuses to read regulations that pertain to his office and decides to tell people what his office does when he has no clue. You understand? Jack Lynch doesn't even understand the job of the mayor, but he's up there to tell people what it is. That is shining shit. That's complete crap. And open arms killing people. The county can't count the deaths of poisonings or can't count county poisonings because there's no ME. There's no records. No, why would they destroy records? Perhaps to not be sued later. I don't know. There's limitations on suing, so you'd think a year or two. But they're doing it anyways. Who knows? Maybe they're lazy, incompetent, can't figure it out. Now, what they're saying in their mind, probably, and this is a bug mind, okay, is that they're saving money by not paying the people who are lawful, who aren't incompetent, who are educated, because they have a problem with that. They have a problem with the government in general. So basically, you have people in office who are being seditious to the infrastructure of the government. They don't care. Money isn't saved, you understand, because those commissioners who can't read at a 5th grade level, who were shining toilets right before they were elected, well, they were in election. Somehow that made sense to people on a large scale. I know most people aren't elected, but you have to elect people for the job. You're not supposed to elect people that you like yourself, or that you get along with, or grins at you, or throws candy at you. That's just stupid. You elect the people that are best capable of the job. That's what the election process is supposed to be. And so we have a failing of democracy here in Campbell County, and it's on everybody's heads. I tried voting. I even voted for Jack Lynch because I thought he said that he was from the Board of Education. No, he's not from the Board of Education. He was teaching inmates how to get their GED if any ever got it. That is the laziest, lowest teacher position I can imagine. I mean, if you don't get your GED, you study for it. You get a book. And it's just shining shit, Campbell County. I didn't want to make that a motto, but no, you got to get somebody. And it's not like we don't have dozens of people, maybe hundreds or even thousands of people in this county that have gone up, moved elsewhere, been in the government, done government contracting, done RFPs. Oh, back to the committee meeting. So they think they're saving money or something. I have no idea the reasons why they would commit thousands of felonies, or the ME would admit to all this stuff. And they tell people they talk about it. Well, they try to hide the thing about the records. That's being destroyed by telling a false lie. So they know there's something wrong with it there. But any money they're saving by a non-existent ME, he's not doing his job. He's never been an examiner. It's disgusting that he's called one. They don't do RFPs. RFPs are called a request for proposals. It's what the government puts out when they have a job to do over $10,000, they put a bid out, and there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of contractors like us, and much bigger than my company, with LLC of one. But there are huge companies out there ready to bid, competitively bid on these contracts, knowing they're competing with everybody else out there. Will give the best price, best job, and they have a reputation rating. It's like the first Angie's List is government contractors that only the government can choose from, has access to, and know about. I mean, these contractors will do private work, but it's all organized for them for a push of a button. But they can't write an RFP because they're at a fifth grade level. That's the job of the commissioners, to write RFPs. We get these RFPs, we look at it, we say, hey, I can do this, this, this. I can hire this many people and get it, we might make 10, 20, 30% actually. It's about equal to a commercial work in the private sector, all right? These people don't do that. They just go, well, I know somebody, blah, blah, blah. They don't even check with more than one or two people, much less thousands for an RFP. And they get charged 3 times, 5 times what it would cost. I was back trying to find the county records back with the commissioners before and sat through another one of the meetings where they, or maybe saw one on video or something, where they paid like $150,000, $180,000 to have some bleachers repainted. Bleachers repainted. They go, oh, it's supposed to require special paint. That's such garbage. For one, it'd be like a car. You sand them off, you anodize it, whatever else. You put a coat or primer, and you bake it. So, if someone wanted to buy the stuff to bake these certain special paints, which are probably maybe twice as much as your normal paints, you can look at the whole package being put together for $5,000 to run through the heating lights and everything else, special paint, airbrushes, whatever else, ventilators, so they don't kill the trustees who are doing it for free. And so that could be done for $5,000 because somehow Campbell County, these pieces of shit that have shined themselves up, think they're over things, and have a slave task force of inmates who have replaced the court clerks, the mental mind of the court. So basically, they've given the county I'm talking about the politicians of Campbell County have given themselves a lobotomy, and the local courts. Nothing can be done or expected of them because, well, they're pieces of shit, shined up or not. And that's just the 2 examples from the briefest contact I could have with this county, just looking up some files or trying to get a judicial review of the cause of death. And we got thousands of people being poisoned weekly or monthly, at least, maybe more than that, because I think it's a genre where these people who were deprived, these janitors and menial, they were deprived of an education. They were robbed of it. It was 12 years of abuse in these local schools that barely taught anything at all, if nothing at all, besides how to be a serf and not to question idiots who were dealing meth while they're being teachers. All right. I mean, it's just that kind of ghetto in an all mostly homogenous white rural county of Tennessee. They're told to rebel against everything, rebel against the rules. And then they have a cult. Cults are large here. There was one called Snake Salvation, the symbol of the devil of being a snake, and the devil will save them or something, I don't know. Handling snakes until, people got bit, poisoned, and died, and the feds came and shut them down. They advertise the crap. The stupid dare system here. I mean, I went to high school here. Do a stupid dare, and that's like, okay, you got to do the stupid dare to be okay. They're dare that, and as politicians, heard Bobby Van saying he wasn't going to tell anybody, let anybody tell him what regulations to follow. Sitting at Bullock's desk and during a hearing, he's bragging. It was during a recess. He's bragging about how he won't let anybody tell him from New York or New Jersey. I don't remember where it was. Tell him what regs to do. I mean, they're criminals or incompetence and all mingled together. I think the one thing they do is probably go around and try to protect the incompetency because we got a lot of incompetent people in Campbell County. So they go around after all these stupid dares, being stupid rebels, that they protect the stupid rebels. It's basically, the definition for this in legal terms would be a criminal organization, organized crime. inside the government itself. That's corruption at every level. There's no way it couldn't be corrupt. For it not to be corrupt, say, for if somebody has an RFP, you get the bids are reviewed, you pick the best one, you can prove that you're not being corrupt by a certain one. They don't even bother doing that. It's just, oh, this person over here I've been dealing with, talking with, friends with, whatever else. I think some of the Campbell County commissioners meetings actually hire themselves to like haul garbage or do things for the county. They're voting to pay themselves, which it's not a government, people. You have got a marauding mass of idiots, and who knows, cold infected, raised infected, stupid peer pressure, miseducated, abused in education. So Campbell County can't even count the checks they're writing. Campbell County, by statistics, spends three times more than a county its size, and has zero essential services that would be expected. These people just meet up, take some money, spend it. Bullock's, I think, family of the county county trustee who writes the checks. So they just dumb, shine pieces of shit follow the money. Same as like some food line volunteers work their way up the volunteer line. Heck, I mean, it happens in organizations like that. People want to get closer to whatever it is. In Catholicism, you get people being ministers, like minister of liturgy. I get there and read some words. I like that. I like going there reading words. Or choir or trying to help serve communion or whatever else. People want to see an organization. They want to go toward it and see what benefits they receive. And, pick among the food, throwing out food, or getting your government tax money that you're spending. So get them together among yourselves. I realize there's not many heavy readers in Campbell County, but there has to be some. We got Oak Ridge, 30 miles, 40 miles up the road. Thousands of government contractors. People there are thousands of government employees up there. People who have spent their careers writing RFPs, following procedure. These procedures, these laws, they're not just something that made up to come at you. These are the written down expressions of what humans call instinct, communal instinct, individual instinct, common sense, just stupid stuff you don't want to do, like hand out poisons to thousands of people. It's just not right in the head. You understand, Campbell County is not right in the head right now. And so we have to, and a large part of that is a poor example of the politicians we've hired. We have to do a sweeping change. I want to start a party. I want to put together a block of candidates who have written RFPs, who have college education. Okay, I've been an Army officer in the 1980s. Reagan came through while I was in ROTC and declared every officer has to have a college education to be commissioned. And I was like a freshman because I was high speed, low drag from Campbell County. I was doing SMP, I was doing ROTC, I was doing National Guard, I was doing my college degree. I was doing all this stuff just as fast as I could. And they say, oh, well, it'll be another 4 years before you're commissioned. I'm like, I make sense of that because a college education, basically a BA, means you're basically literate. If you don't have a BA or college education, you're pretty much illiterate in this world. I mean, I was reading 10,000 books by the time I was before high school. All fiction books, though. It takes college to tell you which books to read because you don't even know it. You think somebody's going to tell you about the Great Britannica works or Plato or Aristotle or Euclid. Euclid's one of my favorites. I even have a Euclid series online of Kindle books that I've rewritten for URL links and media, electronic media. You just don't somebody going to know these things. You're not going to know about government regulations unless somebody's been there to mentor you. We have generations of degrading, despicable, disgusting politicians in Campbell County, and it's a democratic failure. And you're probably getting all riled up. But the thing to do is just hire the smartest, most educated people you can for these positions. And you might have to talk them into it. You understand, in most places, people don't want to work for the government. People with an education, we can go out there and make $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year. We can become millionaires on government contracts, private enterprise, education, grants, whatever else. It's a crap job, but you can't have crap people in the crap job of the government, okay? You don't have to talk some people into it. You don't have to bring candidates to us, bring them together. I can be a focal point. You got to get some educated people there who knows how the government's supposed to function, because the government is actually there supposed to protect you. It's not the government infrastructure itself. The government infrastructure itself is indestructible. As we can see, it can completely fall down on its face, as Campbell County does, or its ass, or whatever else. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And there might be somebody controlling. Here's the thing. A county is spending 3 times what it has and providing no essential services means that more than 60% of that, we're saying 90% is going towards some kind of corrupt cause. Okay? It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's robbing you of your taxes. It's not providing yourself social services. It's not protecting you, your health, your loved ones. It's not even accurately recording deaths, and refuses belligerently to do so. It is a hostile, rogue county government. And there's employees within the county government that know this, but what the heck are we supposed to do? It's a democratic election process. Okay? So I'm talking to you out there who might vote. Get together and talk to your other voters. It's not about personality. It's about education, competence, and ability. That's Aristotle way. You hire the ones best able for the job, in the job, not the ones that offer themselves up there to preen and smile like they're giving gas from a baby, okay? That's corruption. Then it has to be sweeping. That's the thing. We pretty much have to throw out every incumbent out of there and complete reform party as a block coming in, replacing every commissioner who couldn't vote to put the current ME Klein out, Elijah Klein, doctor, MD, who says he's worked for the hospital, has complete conflict of interest, won't investigate deaths, won't even hand up the required paperwork that he's required to up to state. If he's letting people be killed and hiding deaths for the hospital, they'll do that for anybody. They've given away every bit of ground. I mean, there's an educated man who's not doing his job. It's the peer pressure or the local contamination being raised or something. You understand? Be raised by a cult. You have to be deprogrammed. And you have to have examples. Because you can't just deprogram yourself and sit a bunch of peers and realize, holy crap, it's a whole world of crap, as it is in Campbell County. I mean, the Lakes TVA, they make I think their president just got hired for $1 million a year salary and a $4 million signing bonus. That's the highest. That's 5 times what the American president makes people. That's just corruption in action somehow. That's 5 to 100 times what 150 times what any other government official makes. And they look at that, the people around here look at that. I understand. It's a freaking mess. And there's no good example. You got a federal entity up the road that's basically making a heavy metal toxin plant, and all this stuff is super toxic. Even though it's stuff they do for NASA, sending out to space, which is kind of neat. They have a plutonium reactor, and this thing makes a heat like a small campfire continually. It's sealed in, it's self-sealed, and it heats probes going out beyond our solar system. But it's still a super toxic type thing. People are paying themselves outrageous money. The lakes, which are nice, are TVA controlled, which I think they basically put the hoods over all the workers in the Kingston coal ash spill and let thousands be poisoned without help or remedy. I mean, we got some nasty people. So start a way to vote. Follow me. And I'll put out ads on LinkedIn saying, hey, you got a college degree and know how to write RFPs? Please apply. We want you as a politician in this county. But you must know people who've worked at Oak Ridge or L somewhere that have come back. Gather around them, show your support, make a voting block to put competent people in so you all won't just simply be killed, kept poor, kept uneducated, fed gross things like candy for votes. You're not even getting money. And something besides a facade. I mean, when something happens, the government's actually there to turn to, which hasn't happened in Campbell County ever, as far as I can tell, unless it's for some collusion or corruption. And $150,000 to paint some bleachers. You could get for $60,000. You could get whole new bleachers, self-retracting, expandable, with molded plastic seats, so you wouldn't have to sit there on that uncomfortable bench for a third of what they spent for a paint job. Okay, that they're either corrupt or being just so completely shine shit incompetent that they just turn over whatever happens. It's an example I see in Campbell County in people's daily lives. It's a poor example. You're supposed to elect leadership. Leadership are those best able for the job and doing the job well, and to be a good example, not to be robbed, corrupt, or just shined on. You know what I mean? The revolving thing of blaming somebody else, that's something they learn in high school. It's a cult mental conditioning. I don't know how to tell you about that. Speak out, join, sign up. Help us find some candidates to be elected. I mean, we got every post just about. I don't know if I think the deed. I hear good things about the deeds, but people say good things about everybody, and say good things about crap. I don't really know, but infrastructure's there. Doris Miller hired the software up there, but the software comes from the state and it's automatic. All they have to do is basically be a data entry processor and be able to recall that up. I mean, that's your work at home job for Google, or anything, all these other company tech jobs you're talking about, which I haven't heard any problems with it, but that might be the one position. But all the commissioners got to go. Mayor's got to go. The ME's got to be fired and replaced, hopefully by someone with FBI Quantico skills. That's the only way to even, and they got, what, 3 decades of cold case murders, unnatural deaths to look up. I don't even know about the new sheriff or anything. But the new sheriff, Barton, I was at the same county commissioners meeting that's recorded in this playlist, the Campbell County Political Podcast. He gets up and says that there's not a deputy or a detective in his entire La Follette or Campbell County Sheriff's Office force that he would trust a dog with, that he had to sell it to Clinton. So, and the shit's up there going, oh, I know some other canine officer that makes me up here. I mean, what about knowing some ex-drunk canine officer that prowls in bars makes somebody competent enough to speak up and try to prove themselves to validate as a county commissioner? No. The same guy, I think, sued the county for not promoting him or something. I don't know. They're people being pushed around minimally. And if there's anybody there pushing others around, it should be made obvious, but we just got to replace them all. That's just it. I mean, knowing that people are deaths aren't being reviewed is a safety problem. I mean, if lots of botulism cases come to the hospital, and there's an active medical examiner go, hey, what combines all these botulism problems? We're going to find out. And either solve it locally or call the CDC or whatever else. That's what the job is. It's not being done. You got the Campbell County politicians, civilians, the whole voting constituent block completely unprotected, not being served. It's pathetic. And they can probably count the checks that they've written, because that's how bad it is. Watch the whole podcast. Share it. Talk to your neighbors. I don't even want to be the inspiration. I'm just a freaking guy making podcasts, okay? And a government contractor. In case any of you want to sign up for $5,000 currently, and the price might change, but for a reasonable fee, we'll set you up an LLC. We'll register with SAMS, the System of Awards Management of the government. You'll be able to work for Oak Ridge National Labs, wherever else, county and state governments, all of which are supposed to write RFPs. You're supposed to be on the RFP list and be able to respond to it. That's how you get the jobs in the government. You don't just belly up as a wastrel for a political position and just smile and show your baby gas from the corruption that you're involving yourself with. No, there's a process to it. And you can work anywhere after that. Take your company to the next level. And here in Campbell County, that's what should have happened. We got huge national entities that neither lawns mowed or whatever else that will hire competitive bids. This county should be a rich freaking county just from all the government contractors in it. But instead, we have 95% uneducated and crap in office. So reform, people. Reform party. Let's call it a science party or something. I don't know what to call it. You all think of a name for it. I might be a candidate. Who knows? That's what I do. Right? All right. Well, besides the total crap of the government and being robbed of your lives and finances and education and safety and health and even a proper recording of your deaths, try to enjoy a sunny day.